Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. I am here with K-pop metal guy. We're going to be checking out Dreamcatcher. Just made a comeback. This is going to be a joint video on both of our channels. So check out K-pop metal guy's version on his channel, K-pop metal guy. Um, so you excited for this?
I'm really excited. I've listened to the album multiple times and it's amazing. It's really good. They're back to the rock like heavily and it sounds great. But yeah, it's been hard not watching any of the videos because there's a lot of them.
So you've listened to the music, but you haven't seen the video.
Correct.
Okay. I haven't done anything. Well, I did like a
Oh,
sample, like 20 seconds, I think, of a couple of them. So
it's gonna be awesome. But not seeing them, in this new comeback yet, other than like maybe the visuals we've seen so far, but seeing the choreography and all that's what I love to see. So this is gonna be a lot of fun.
yeah, and they just announced the tickets just released for
Yeah.
their tour coming up in November. So
Are you doing the Atlanta show?
yeah, that's the one at the
Yeah.
Roxy.
Yeah, so that's where
Yeah.
I saw them. What was it? The Reason Makes tour, and that
Yeah.
venue is really cool. So that's where they played last time. It's not that big, so even
Yeah.
if when I was further back for the show, there was actually still you can still see perfectly fine. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm thinking about going to Chicago too, depending on how finances work, because flights from here are
Yeah.
actually pretty cheap there, and I have a cousin that lives close to Chicago. So I would love to see him twice on one tour. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I went to my first Blackpink and itzy concerts back to back, and I flew to
Mm,
Atlanta that time. It was pretty cheap. So
yeah, yeah.
let's get into it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and that goes to whichever channel you're seeing this on.
Both of us.
Yeah, now let's get into it. Hold up. May they
Yeah.
descend as heralds of justice to exterminate evil from the world. So we got a serious song again from Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, from villains to heroes now.
From OOTD to
Hell yeah.
Oh my dear God, 나를 데려가 아름다웠던 시작점에 서툰 증오와
I love you against new hair.
survive,
that's your bias, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, guiding me up 모든 빛이 잠들지 못하게 큰 숨을 몰아쉬고 final
Wow.
fight with us clean me up 얼룩이날 삼키지
The prettiest women in K-pop, gotta say.
외침으로 fight for justice rise up here build a barrier fight me yes I'm a warrior fight me justice makes me
It goes so hard.
Tommy
Oh
rap.
god. Oh. So what do you think so far?
Yeah, sonically, sound-wise, I really like it. I like the visuals too. Definitely the one that I like to see from Dreamcatcher. Uh,
Yeah.
the more heavy rock stuff,
Yeah,
definitely.
and
I
the
mean,
the
they can do other stuff too, of course, but
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. At the I like how at the stopping point right there, it's like that's really awesome. The Dami visual there. But I
Yeah.
think the actual environment, it kind of reminds me of like Good Night. Or even the Chase Me. It kind of looks a little bit like that with like the big doorway behind them, and there's a little
Well, they
bit.
were like in a hotel or something in Good Night. Like this.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of Chase Me. I think because they have that same kind of
Hmm.
sort of not as dark in this case, but it does have kind of a vibe of it, like similar. It kind of had a little bit of Because in there too. With
Yeah.
like the lace and all that on one of the parts of it. So I don't know if that's callback or they're just sticking to tradition with the group, but I like it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely can tell already that I'm going to be listening to this on the playlist. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to the lyrics. I see we got again one of their more like substantive message songs. But I'm not really. Is it just like general justice, like in general, or
Yeah. I'm not
is,
sure. Like I said, I haven't
uh,
even seen the lyrics myself. This is the first time for me watching it. I'm
right?
seeing the actual English subtitles here. Um, but for the theme of the record, it's definitely more about, yeah, finding
Vir-
justice in the world, and they're definitely more on the hero arc right now from the villain arc. So,
Being
um,
virtuous, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, exactly. All the album, from what I could make out, has to do with that, more like
Right,
uplifting and striking down evil, being the
right.
heroes or the heroines, if you will.
I noticed at the beginning some of the lyrics. Is this kind of like religious overtones?
Yeah,
Because
especially with the
GU
painting.
was, yeah, at the beginning. That's right.
Yeah,
I wondered about that, man. Because Korea, because this is kind of a study, right?
yeah,
Korea is like in K-pop, you'll like constantly see like crosses and stuff, and a lot of it's probably
yeah,
for style.
right.
But I know that the majority of the country is non-religious,
Hmm.
but there's a very like I guess strong minority of
Yeah,
like Christians and some Buddhists. I think minorities there
yeah,
because I've heard it a couple times before at Dreamcatcher. Not often will they be talking about like God and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
just makes me curious, like what their perspective or background or orientation is. Or so they didn't write the song, I don't think,
yeah,
but still, those are topics that kind of interest me. And when you're talking about justice, it does kind of irritate me because one thing is so often when you talk about being a good person or morality and justice, it's linked to religion
right.
a lot. And I used that kind of have
Yeah,
that mentality a long time ago before I really studied all the
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
about religion and philosophy and moral philosophy and how like actually most philosophers and moral philosophers are not religious and
right.
a lot of the best most of the best countries actually are not either in the
Yeah,
world. But obviously all the bad stuff in religion, so not at all. But still, anyway, I'm not trying to get sidetracked here. But I
yeah,
just
yeah,
immediately noticed that from the first line. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
GU,
yeah. I
interesting.
think a lot of it's, morality is commonly derived from some kind of religion, just because it's kind of a, you know, it's a very typical format for people to grow up in, and I shouldn't say format, but lifestyle, if you will. So yeah, it's very easy for people to just have that sense of morality versus a experienced form of reality and morality. So, but yeah, it's usually borrowed themes too, and they kind of make it their own. I think maybe it's just they use it because it's common and people can kind of relate to it in that way. But I don't think they're really kind of projecting anything in particular, because they
Yeah,
usually kind of seem like they're gods themselves. A lot of their videos, because they
yeah,
have like powers and shit. So,
right.
which I hope they keep that up. Han Dong had the angel wings. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
Reminds
it's
me of
just
Vision. He
yeah,
seemed to have
yeah.
had some powers in that song,
Oh
and I
yeah,
think that remains probably my favorite Dreamcatcher song. Actually,
that's one of mine. That's definitely probably my favorite music video for sure. Like when I saw that, I was
yeah.
just blown away. I was like, this is badass. That's the only way I
Mhm.
could describe that video.
It's
But yeah,
definitely the song that got me into them and made me
yeah.
be like, I need to pay attention to who are they, right? So that was actually that came out right at the time. I think the first Blackpink and Itzy concert, and I started to
Yeah.
listen to that. Love Fairy Tale from that album, for example.
Oh yeah.
It's an awesome song. But yeah, I mean, you talk about morality that predates any kind of religion.
Yeah.
That's like basically, people are interconnected social animals that have to live
Yeah.
together and have to figure out. We have most, well, unless you're a psychopath, you have natural empathy for other
Right.
people, and we affect each other, so we have to live together. But anyway, didn't mean to
Some
go
people
that much.
some people need written laws in order to actually follow those
Uh,
rules, but
Yeah,
it is what it
I
is.
have another channel, and I try to keep this talk to that channel. But I don't know if been paying attention to the news, but stuff going on in uh, on the right wing political scope, trying to put stuff in schools and things like that.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
know
it's
all about that.
got me kind of mad along with a lot of people from various different perspectives,
The
religious people too.
Project Meh. So, but we can count on
2025.
Dreamcatcher.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
that's
not
what I
talk
was gonna
about
say.
Project 2025 on the
I was gonna
Dreamcatcher
say the whole
reaction,
thing.
but hey, you go where you go with stuff. It evokes whatever it evokes, right?
I'll put the other channel in the link in the description if you want to go and down that rabbit hole. You can.
Yeah. There you go.
But we'll count on Dreamcatcher to bring us justice.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get back into it.
Yeah, I want to hear this Dami rap.
Let's go.
끌어올려 rising emotion 멈추지 않아 날 지킬 someway show me what I'm looking for 고통에 몸부림치지만 그럼에도 나를 밀어 느껴져 my vital rhythm 용기를 가득 머금고 내 갈 길을 활짝 열어 my heart is beating like an eagle We built the barrier build a barrier build a barrier fight me yes I'm a warrior fight me justice makes me
Black hair guy on with the bangs. Amazing. Oh, unbelievable.
It's not pause in the dark. I'm trying to not to pause in the dark.
That's a good
All
one.
right. Yeah. With their voice, like it sounds like it's like distorted, like you're talking into a fan or something, or some kind of.
Yeah, I'm not honestly not too much of a fan of that. Just because it kind of, I think it's a cool effect, but I think it takes away from what their range is doing because it's such a beautiful part, and the fact that they all do that part during the chorus, like it started off with Xion, and then it was Yuyeon, and then it was Sua and Jiu. So like them all showcasing their vocals is like always my favorite part. And so
I think it sounds good.
It's cool, but I think it does take away from it. Like when I listen to it in the car, it sounds pretty awesome. But more like headphones, it sounds kind of like on a YouTube quality. It sounds a little like it could be kind of distracting at times. But I think it's cool personally. I mean,
I saw your Dreamcatcher hat there.
Yeah.
I've got the shirt from the concert, the yellow one, the black and yellow one.
Yeah.
You got one of those from Nashville?
No, I didn't get a shirt at that show.
Oh man, they're cool.
Yeah. But at the so when I went to that, I didn't get the Reason Makes tour shirt, and I heard that they were selling them at Hot Topic, which is crazy. So I went to the Hot Topic at that Opry Mills Mall in Nashville that was like across from the venue we were at, and I found one of the shirts. So I got the tour shirt from the last tour, technically at that show, but I didn't get a tour shirt from that show. But yeah,
it's a cool shirt. That's you got the old shirt at that concert from the previous concert.
Yeah, I got the one from when I saw him in Louisville too. So eventually I'll get the other one just to have it. Hello, Kitty.
All right. Think maybe the cat's enjoying Dreamcatcher too.
Oh yeah, she has to hear it all day usually.
Yeah. All right. This hook reminds me of another song. Can't think of what it is.
Beautiful. I hope Xion gets better on her little break.
What are we listening to? Oh, she started off listening to this. Okay.
Nice. That's really
cool. She was listening to themselves, right? She was listening to herself.
I didn't know who it was in the beginning. I thought it was like Yeah, that's crazy.
I definitely you need to rewatch this on OOTD on the last reaction that you and I did on
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher. In the comments, people were talking about giving like these very maybe you haven't read it, go read it, but people were giving like these detailed, like profound descriptions of what they think or what they say Dreamcatcher said about the meaning of OOTD. Like, oh, you don't even know. It's like this super deep thing. The thing we were saying, like, oh, it's very materialistic, but like,
It's
they're like, no,
outfit of the
actually,
day.
yeah, but they're like, no, it's a whole story and it's actually really deep and it's, you know, so with this, maybe, it's going to be even more to read up on.
Yeah, there
Obviously.
wasn't much coding or like build up for this one. It was a lot more just basic visual and like, the teasing stuff. But as far as I know, and then for villains, they actually had like a story on like X or Twitter or whatever, where they had like constant weird little codes and messages from like this person that I think at the end ended up dead because they're in the video towards the end where they have like the like that security room or whatever it was, looked like kind of like a newsroom or something, like an office or whatever, and there was a whole story behind that. But I think it just played into the overall story, not so much just OOTD. But yeah, they put it into the video. But yeah, I didn't follow it as much as other people did as far as the story thing. I was like, I think whoever sent the text that revealed the crown stuff is like dead or whatever. Because you got the bunny, and they started putting out all this crazy, just random imagery from this other account under Dreamcatcher's account. That was supposed to be somebody else, and there's this whole thing about it. So
that's actually the song that the hook here. I don't know if it was or not, but when they're like going like that, really intense. It reminds me of that part in OOTD where they're like, I think what they're saying, do you want to ride or let's ride or I forget. But it sounds similar that part. That's what it's from. So hey, cool. I thought it sounded awesome. I dig it when they get deeper and when they get harder with the music. So that's absolutely. Thumbs up.
Yeah, it's really good. I love the video. Their visuals are stunning. They outdo themselves, and they don't even take that long. It's like every 6 months they're like they're just brand new again. That's just they're so good at what they do, and they're beautiful. They always just outdo themselves. So it can't go wrong with Dreamcatcher. They still have yet to disappoint. I don't think they ever will. They know who they are, and they own it. So, and the lyrics are really cool for this. So they're like, build the barrier, I'm the warrior. That's really cool. So I love it.
Absolutely. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe on both channels. Yeah. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Foresight paradigm, fine. A foresight paradigm. Foresight paradigm, you fine. A foresight paradigm. I fight for sight.